Let's try a little thought experiment. It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, but honestly, it reveals just how delicate our world really is. We're going to ask a simple but pretty terrifying question. What would happen if the moon just vanished? Just picture it. You step outside your front door, maybe to walk the dog or just get some fresh air, and you get this immediate feeling that something is deeply, deeply wrong.
At first glance, everything seems okay. The stars are out, the clouds are rolling by like they always do, but you just can't shake that strange feeling in your gut. You find yourself scanning the sky, searching for something that's missing.
And then it hits you. The moon. It's just gone. Not hiding behind a cloud, not in a different phase. It has simply ceased to exist. In that first moment, it's a terrifying mystery, but it would only take a few hours before the consequences would start to ripple across the entire planet.
You see, the moon is so much more than just a pretty light in our night sky. It's like a silent partner in the story of life on Earth, a fundamental force that has shaped our world in ways we barely ever stop to think about.
So, that's the big question we're going to tackle. What really happens to a world that has spent billions of years dancing with this constant companion when that companion is suddenly ripped away? Well, let's dive in.
The very first and maybe the most dramatic change wouldn't happen in the sky at all. It would happen in our oceans. The ancient, familiar rhythm of the sea would be broken almost instantly.
Right now, the moon's gravity is the main engine driving our tides. It's what pulls on Earth's oceans, moving trillions of tons of water every single day. Now, the sun has a gravitational pull too, of course, but it's much, much weaker. So without the moon, the sun's gentle tug is all we'd have left.
And what would that actually mean? Well, our planet's massive ocean tides would shrink down to just 1/3 of their current size. The great rise and fall of the sea, that powerful breath of the planet, would become a shadow of its former self, more like a whisper than a roar.
This would set off an absolutely devastating chain reaction. So many coastal ecosystems, everything from coral reefs to tiny tidal pools, they depend on that daily flow of water for their very survival. Without strong tides, they'd be thrown into total chaos. We're talking about entire marine food chains built around this ancient rhythm, potentially collapsing.
But the chaos in the oceans? That's just the beginning. Over a much longer timescale, a far more fundamental change would start to creep in. The planet Earth itself would lose its balance.
This number is absolutely crucial, 23.5 degrees. That's Earth's current tilt on its axis, and that tilt is the entire reason we have our predictable seasons: summer, fall, winter, spring. It's a kind of stability we completely take for granted.
And the reason we have that stability? You guessed it, the moon. Its gravity acts like a massive anchor, holding our planet in place and stopping that 23.5-degree tilt from wobbling all over the place. So you can see what's coming. If you take away that anchor, Earth would start to drift. Over thousands of years, our planet could start to tilt dramatically. Sometimes it might be almost perfectly upright, which would get rid of seasons entirely. Other times, it could tilt so far over that the poles are pointing straight at the sun. This would lead to absolute climate chaos. We're talking entire continents freezing over, while others bake under unbearable, scorching heat. All right, let's shift to a more immediate change, something that would affect every single night on Earth and all the creatures who've evolved to live in it. I want you to think about the darkest night you've ever been in. Maybe you were camping far away from any city lights. Okay, now imagine it's even darker than that. With the moon gone, our only light at night would be the faint glimmer of distant stars. Our nights would be plunged into this profound, almost alien darkness. And for millions of species, this isn't just a little inconvenient, it's a full-blown catastrophe. Nocturnal predators that rely on that faint moonlight to hunt would suddenly struggle to find food. Migrating animals, like birds and sea turtles that literally use the moon as a celestial compass, would be completely lost. And reproductive cycles, like the mass spawning of coral that are timed perfectly to the lunar cycle, would be broken forever. And now for one of the most surprising effects. A change so slow, so incredibly subtle, you would never notice it in your lifetime. But it really shows just how deeply the moon is woven into the very mechanics of our planet.
Believe it or not, the moon is constantly putting the brakes on Earth's rotation. Hundreds of millions of years ago, a day on this planet was only about 18 hours long. It's the moon's gravitational drag that has slowly lengthened our day to the 24 hours we all know now. Without the moon, that gradual slowing process would pretty much just stop.
So, the big question, could life survive? Yeah,
Probably. The disappearance of the moon wouldn't be an instant extinction event, but our world would be fundamentally altered. It would become a much more hostile, unpredictable, and chaotic place to call home.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? The next time you look up and see the moon, remember this. It's not just a beautiful decoration. It is our planet's anchor, our ocean's engine, and our silent guardian, quietly making life on Earth possible.
Which really leaves us with one final fascinating question. If something as obvious as the moon has all these hidden vital jobs, what other invisible forces, from the Earth's magnetic field to deep ocean currents, are silently at work right now, shaping our world in ways we haven't even begun to understand?